When reading a scientific article, have you ever wondered, paano kaya nila ginawa tong research na to? This is BTS, Behind the Science Podcast, kung saan makikipagtsikahan kami with the leading scientists in their respective fields and tatanungin natin sila about their specific papers at ang mga challenges at experiences mula sa conceptualization hanggang publication ng kanilang research.
Magandang araw mga kapwa-siyentista. Welcome to BTS o Behind the Science Podcast. So ang ating buena manong guest is Sir Bernard Racoma o Sir Bernard Alan Racoma o Sir BA. So he graduated Bachelor of Science in Applied Physics, Instrumentation, Master of Science in Geology, and recently PhD in Meteorology sa University of the Philippines. Currently, he's doing his PhD in Atmosphere, Oceans, and Climate from the University of Reading in Berkshire, United Kingdom. So without further ado, hello again, Sir BA.
Hello, Keith. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Kumusta? Thanks for having me here.
Ayun. So, thank you din. Medyo nagpa-fanboy mo kasi
Huwag naman ganun. Friends tayo lahat dito.
Kasi sir, syempre, alam mo naman, nag-interact tayo sa Twitter, online. So, I mean, first time ko din kayo makausap na hindi nagta-type.
Ang daming nangyari nitong pandemic.
Ay, oo.
Nakilala ko si Keith online and I'm glad to finally meet them in person or through this podcast. So, hello, Keith. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you din po, sir. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Anyway, so, ayun, sir.
Kaya mo yan.
So, to formally start this podcast, we will go with our first topic. So, tatawagin natin tong segment na to na The Young and Curious You. So, sa segment na to, sisimulan natin to sa roots ni Sir BA. So, our first question. So, let's revisit your younger self, sir. When did you realize that you would want to work in the science sector?
Ang hirap na chikahan palagi nito kasi nung bata ako, hindi ko talaga alam kung anong gusto kong maging. Kasi diba, kunwari may mga friends tayo na, uy, gusto kong maging doktor, uy, gusto kong maging lawyer. So ever since I was a kid, hindi ko alam. What I really wanted to be was a rock star or a commercial model or an actor. Kasi tipong nung bata ako, nag-theater club ako, glee club, dance club. And then I was interviewing for yung mga film test. Nakalimutan ko ang tawag doon. Basta nagtatry ako for commercials pero hindi ako nakapasa. Eventually, while growing up, na-influensyan siguro ako ng kuya ko. Yung kuya ko mahilig kasi mag-electronics. He liked this assembling stuff. And then trying to put them back together again, hindi namin usually nagagawa. As in tipong gumagawa kami ng mga kable, ng mga kuryente. Kinukuryente niya ako palagi using these different batteries. So that was the young me. Eventually, when tumapak ako high school, hindi ko pa rin alam kung anong gusto kong gawin. So it was both either performing arts or science. Kasi apparently, magaling pala ako sa math. No? And my teachers recognized that. Sinasali nila ako dati sa MTG, yung Mathematical Trainers Guild. And nung high school ako, I was part of the math honors class. And dito, nakilala ko yung mga teacher ko na talagang in-encourage ako to go into science. I remember yung physics teacher ko, he called me one recess time. Sabi niya, BA, walk with me, let's talk. And he said, alam mo ba, BA, I noticed na magaling ka sa math and sa physics. And maybe, if you just want to consider it, maybe you have a career in science. So, ganun pa rin. Hindi ko pa rin alam kung anong science. Kasi ang dami, di ba? That's one thing that you realize. There's bio, there's chem, there's physics, there's math. I started, nung pumasok ako sa UP, stat yung una kong course. Pero I wasn't so happy. So, I shifted to physics. So, isa siyang habang journey, no? Na parang kaliwa kanan. Sure ako, hindi ako sure. So, in terms of when did I realize I wanted to work in science? Hindi ako sure. Parang hindi pa rin ako sure.
So, ano pala, journey talaga siya, no, sir?
Journey pa rin,
So,
oo.
yun, the destination is always going to be sa science, pero alam niyo yun, parang ganun pa rin eh. Never-ending journey siya.
Mm-mm.
And, ayun, sir, patanong ko lang, medyo na-curious ako doon. Yung teacher mo ba na yun, meron pa kayong communication? Or nag-update?
Oo, thanks to Facebook, and friends kami sa Facebook. And I learned recently, so wala na siya sa Pilipinas, pero they're taking up their PhD sa US. So parang, because sir, nauna pa ako. Pero yung teaching niya tuloy pa rin. So he's taking up a PhD in education, I think. So nag-uusap pa rin kami. And they keep on telling me, una, nang graduate ako ng physics, they're proud of me. Tapos, graduate akong master's, proud na naman siya. Tapos ngayon ulit. So,
ayun. Actually, sobrang the people we meet in life, hindi natin ina-expect na ganun yung magiging impact natin. Magiging impact nila sa atin. Baligtad.
Impact nila sa atin. No?
Pero yun, I think medyo nasagot na natin din yung paano ka nag-arrive dun sa current field mo. Kasi based on your stories, it's really the journey that took you from where you started to where you are right now, Sir BA.
The journey and the people you meet. Diba?
And that's really important din, lalo na sa ating mga listeners na nasa undergraduate, no, sir?
Yes, very.
Kasi, right?
Kasi parang, sige.
Sir. Sabi ko parang,
kasi pag kunwari, hinga ka malalim. Kapag undergrad kasi usually napapansin natin yung may hiya tayo sa mga teachers na parang, uy, si sir ganito. Pero once you talk to them, kunwari ako, nagtuturo ako ngayon and madaming estudyante na, yung takot pa. Pero once you get to talk to them, you can ask them for advice, you can ask them what you want to do in life. And kadalasan, may mga naman, nuggets of gold na to help you in your journey. So, journey and the people that you meet. So, wag kang matakot makipagtsikahan. So, wag kang kakabahan. Katulad ni Kita. Sorry.
I mean, it's really a learning experience. And yun. So, since nagkukwentuhan na rin naman tayo, sir, segue na ako sa ating next topic, sir, or sir, next section natin. Which we will call, kwento mo yan eh. So, we'll be talking about your experience, tests, and on the specific and of course, while doing the research na ginawa mo before, sir. So, in this instance, we will be talking about your paper on Cordillera Mountain Range. So, ang title ng paper na ito ay The Effect of the Cordillera Mountain Range on Tropical Cyclone Rainfall in the Northern Philippines.
Haba ng title, ano?
So,
yeah, sige.
Again, first question. Can you explain your paper in one sentence?
That's always the hardest part, no? Kumbaga, summarizing yung 4 or 5, actually 10 years of work to, no, in one sentence. Pero what we wanted to do was we wanted to find out kung anong effect ng mga bundok sa mga bagyo. We found out na yung mga bundok, si Cordillera Mountain Range, tsaka si Sierra Mountain Range, minimal yung effect nila sa lakas tsaka bilis ng bagyo, pero mas malaki yung effect nila sa ulan na dala ng bagyo. Yun.
Oh,
Sana, sana it does
that,
justice to the paper. No?
pero sir, that's really interesting, lalo na we're experiencing uh, different, iba't ibang lakas ng bagyo. Tapos, syempre, nagiging factor talaga yung mga mountain ranges in terms of
Mhm.
gaano karaming ulan yung na-experience natin. So, paano kayo nag-arrive dito sa research na to, sir? Anong idea yung pinagsimulan?
Habang kwento pero nagsimula siya siguro say 10 years ago, nung habagat. Yung boss ko nun, si Doc Mahar. Hi, Sir Mahar, kung nakikinig man kayo. He had this idea of, kasi volcanologist talaga siya. Isip niya, may effect ba yung mga bulkan sa ulan? So that was the first question. And he recruited ako, tsaka si Doc Jerry, tsaka si Doc CP, mga magkakasama kami nun. And we started simulating yung mga weather models na merong topography or na walang topography just to see anong effect ng bundok sa ulan kung andyan siya at kung wala siya. And we did find out na kapag wala yung mga bulkan, ibig sabihin mas mahina yung habagat. Kasi nangyayari, yung hangin, tatagos siya sa gilid ng bundok, tapos makikita siya sa likod, tapos lalakas yung ulan doon. So, sabi ko, okay, may effect nga yung ating lupa, no? Lupa, bundok, yung Pilipinas mismo sa mga bagyo. Kasi usually we talk about anong epekto ng bagyo sa Pilipinas. What about the other way around? What about the other way around na anong epekto ng lupa natin sa mga bagyo? So I started experimenting. Una is si Sierra Madre. And we found out na kapag, paano ba to i-explain nang hindi nagdo-drawing? Yung bagyo kasi di ba paikot siya. So yung nangyayari, depende kung saan nakaanggulo yung track ng bagyo, kung saan mas malakas yung hangin. Kumbaga meron bang uppercut na pabaliktad or paharap? Kumbaga yung malakas na hangin ba ay nasa east ng Sierra Madre or nasa west? Depende sa ikot ng bagyo at sa track nito. And continuing the research, we found different papers discussing effect nga ng mga bundok sa weather phenomena, sa monsoons, sa mga bagyo, sa temperatures, sa normal na thunderstorms, sa hail even. So in Taiwan, lagi nilang pinag-aaralan ito kasi 'di ba, parang Taiwan, neighbor natin 'yun na tinatamaan din sila ng mga bagyo. Meron din silang malaking mountain range. So Central Mountain Range. And ayun din, they were experimenting na anong effect ng mga bundok na ito sa mga bagyo. And they found na it's not really affecting yun nga kung gaano kalakas. Mas may epekto ito sa ulan ng bagyo. And throughout the years, dumami yung mga bagyo, dumami yung data na available. Mas natuto ako mag-model. And hanggang ngayon actually, gumagawa pa rin kami ng mga models to see yung mga bagyo na ito. How to understand yung interactions. Kasi that's something that we don't often talk about kasi ang nangyayari na pag-uusapan na lang natin yung mga bagyo pag tapos na. Kumbaga, paano natin ihahanda yung sarili natin by understanding the fundamental interactions and effects, causes, the what's, the why's, the how's. Kumbaga, hindi lang siya observational na, nangyayari na. Pwede natin sabihin, ano ang pwedeng mangyari? So this research, kasi nga, si Sierra Madre, apparently, mas pandak pala siya compared kay Cordillera na ano bang height ni Sierra Madre? 2 kilometers? And then si Cordillera, 3 kilometers, I think. And yung mga bagyo, they range from, nakalimutan ko kung ano yung bottom level nila. Pero they can reach up to 12 kilometers. Kung tama, pagkakaalala ko, yung troposphere. Sana maalala ko. Pero kumbaga, parang, kung may kotse ka, yung mga bundok na to, maliliit na hump lang. And ganun yung height difference niya, no? When we talk about the weather, mas malawak yung left, right, up, down kesa sa altitude. Kumbaga, di ba sinasabi natin the atmosphere is a sheet of air? So, ganun lang siya kanipis talaga. So, ganun din kanipis yung lupa. So, I arrived here finally, no? Daming bagyo, parang anong mga epekto ng mga bagyong to. And pinag-eksperimentohan namin na meron akong models na flat yung Cordillera, kalahati lang yung normal, or pinatangkad pa namin. And from here, not necessarily, hindi natin siya ma-experiment in real life kasi hindi naman natin pwedeng tapyasin yung mga bundok. Pero at least we can understand the fundamental interactions. So, hindi pa siya tapos. Ang dami pang pwedeng gawin. Kasi ang laki ng Pilipinas apparently. Ang dami nating bundok. Meron din tayong bundok sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. And all of these we want to understand and take a look at.
Ang haba ng pinagdaanan ng idea. Hindi, pero I mean, that's
Oo nga eh.
that's really interesting kasi looking at the evolution. Yes. Ayan. So, pasensya na po. Nagkaroon tayo ng konting technical difficulties. But we're back. And going back to what Sir B.A. was telling us earlier, yun nga, from a very small, interesting siya from a point of view of a student or an early career researcher. Kasi yung evolution ng small idea niyo, sir, ang dami niyo pinagdaanan until such time na na-publish niyo na siya. Di ba, sir? Parang amazing.
Sabi nga nila, di ba, yung science nga is just about looking outside and then answering yung questions, the basic questions of the world.
Yes, sir. Yan yung unang-unang tinuturo sa atin sa science eh. Parang observe your surroundings. Tignan mo ano yung nagpipick ng curiosity mo. Kumbaga.
And then ask questions. And then conduct experiments. And ngayon, share it to the people. And then ask again. It never ends.
It never ends. So, bago ako sumegue dun, sir, tanungin ko muna, nakahanap ba kayo ng funding dito sa research?
Yun yung mahirap, no? Kasi kung fundamental na hindi mo basta-basta ma-apply ka agad. Na okay, nasagot mo yung tanong, how does it help the people? And hindi ka agad. So, wala pa siyang funding. And since nga, siya graduate thesis, yung pinaka-support na nakuha ko is the use of equipment, the use of servers, yung tuition fee and scholarship. Yun yung pinaka-funding ko. And yun na yung nag-fund ng research na to, no? And yung publication fees, sinalo naman ng mga universities that I'm part of. So, mahirap ang funding.
So basically, it's in a way, medyo sariling sikap, pero we still owe some things. Or meron pa rin tayong partner from other sources.
Yung mga mentors mo, yung mga universities mo, and yung mga bossing, yung mga supervisor ko. Sila nag-provide ng avenues na minimal or no gastos at all yung research na to mismo.
Ayun. So, address lang natin last time. Nag-start na tayong mag-usap. Although unforeseen technical difficulties, kinailangan nating putulin ang pag-uusap natin last time. Sayang, nasa na tayo nun eh. Kumbaga, okay na. Lumalalim na, masaya na yung usapan. Alak na lang kula.
Isipin na lang natin, Keith, na parang 2-part episode. Tapos, sa isang episode lang natin ipapalabas.
Ayun. Oo nga, Sir B.A. Pero,
I'm glad to be back. So, thank you. Sana ngayon hindi na tayo ma-disconnect lahat,
Ay, naku. Magdasal tayo sa lahat ng lahat ng Diyos, sa lahat ng relihiyon. Well, ayun. Anyway, sir, thank you again for putting time in your schedule to accommodate us and to share your experiences and your knowledge regarding your research.
Of course. Thank you rin. Okay. So, saan na tayo? Saan tayo tumigil?
Ayun. So, ang naka-highlight sa aking notes is regarding dun sa challenges na na-experience nyo regarding your research.
Okay. Ano na nga ba yung last natin pag-usapan? Anyway, yung
Ayun.
challenges, no? Kasi
Oo.
balikan lang natin. Yung research ko is about yung effects ng mountain ranges sa ating mga
Oo, sir.
bagyo.
Yes po.
So, the challenging thing, no, is puro ang daming experimental at saka theoretical na usapan dito. Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng tapyasin bigla yung bundok, tapos hindi mo rin pwedeng kontrolin saan papunta yung mga bagyo. Bali, parang hihintayin mo na lang siyang mangyari sa totoong buhay para ma-verify, kumbaga, yung mga results mo. And it's very challenging kasi ang daming beses din ako natanong na hindi naman makatotohanan yan. Paano mo papatunayan yan? Kasi nga, modeling. Pero sabi nga natin, di ba, ang modeling hindi naman laging makatotohanan, but it's the best approximation of what we have at that time. So, yun yung very challenging, how to make people understand na these are models, pwede silang mangyari, pwedeng hindi, pwedeng tama, pwedeng mali, pero ito yung best explanation that we can come up at this point in time. Kumbaga, yun yung napakahirap. Ang hirap niyang i-imagine.
Okay. Alam niyo naman, sir, yung ating Filipino people, gusto lagi, I mean, in general naman siguro, sir, no? Gusto lagi natin may finite na answers to things that are happening around us. So, ayun, oo nga, sir, medyo mahirap siyang i-relay sa part na yan. So, with regards dito sa challenges, sir, shift tayo to memorable experiences naman. So there are three main categories for this part: the good, the bad, and the ugly. So can you share to us some memorable experience? So unahin natin yung good, yung maganda muna. Memorable experience.
Parang talk show, The good is yung parang finally na pagana ko yung mga models. Kasi
Hmm.
the thing with, yung gamit ko kasing model, itawag Weather Research Forecast. So WRF or WRF for short. So it's free and open source. And what we know about usually experience natin sa mga open source software, yung ang hirap niyang paganahin. Magda-download ka ng kung ano-ano, mag-install ka ng kung ano-ano. Tapos kung ano-ano na yung pinagtatatype mo, hindi mo na naiintindihan. So when finally gumana siya, sobrang saya ko. And I was ready to run my models. So the bad thing was, when I finished running the models, I started to download the data. May isa lang akong maling na type, tapos nasira lahat ng ginawa ko
Oh
sa
my
computer ko.
God!
Kumbaga, pinaprocess ko siya gamit Python, Tapos meron akong mga packages. So, I updated the certain package. So, in-update ko na siya. Hindi pala compatible with another package na hindi na naman compatible with another. So,
Oh my
nasira.
God!
Hindi ako
Grabe.
nakapag-backup kaagad.
Parang nightmare na ata yan, sir.
Oo, kumbaga, may mga times na I spend the whole day just trying to troubleshoot and debug and to make things work. Meron ding mga times na kumbaga kulang ka lang ng isang comma or kulang ka lang ng isang number. Hindi na matutuloy tumakbo yung programs mo or yung models mo. May time din na kasi some of my models run for 2 whole days, 48 hours.
Wow.
So, kumbaga 1 week worth of data will be running for 2 whole days. May mga times na irarun ko siya, tapos supposedly sa weekend, pagdating ko ng Monday, okay na siya, tapos na siya. Yung nangyayari, Friday pa lang ng gabi, tumigil na siyang mag-run.
Oh my God!
Tapos pagdating ko ng Monday, sabi ko, hala, bakit wala akong data? Kasi nga may kulang pala.
Oh my God. Grabe. Ang sakit sa puso.
Oo nga eh. Siguro so nasa na tayo? Sa good, sa
The
bad, sa
bad, ugly.
ugly.
Ayan.
I think yung pinaka-ugly is yung when you do science and research kasi hindi lang ikaw mag-isa. You have to present your results to the world. You have to ask people to take a look. Oy, ito yung ginawa ko. And minsan kasi all this time, parang napaka-confident ka kasi tagal-tagal mo na itong ginagawa. Kumbaga, kung ano-anong binabaliktad mo, iniikot mo, alam mo kung paano sagutin. Pero once, may mga times na kapag binigay mo na siya sa outside person, bigla siya magkakaroon ng bagong perspective na hindi mo alam, na magugulat ka na lang na hala, bakit hindi ko naisip yan? So kumbaga, may isang time na nung pinag-uusapan ko ng research ko, sabi ng isang kausap ko, bakit hindi mo kinonsider tong paper na to by someone else? And do you think that your results are good enough based sa paper na to? Eh, yung paper na to parang napakabago pa lang, So, hindi ko talaga siya nasama. And parang for some people, parang hindi na makatotohanan yung results ko. I think in terms of yung first paper ko, it took us half a year of revisions. Yung second paper, ganun din, mga 2 months, tapos na-reject siya actually sa first round niya. Tapos saka ni-resubmit namin after revision. So yun yung ugly na, kumbaga akala mo okay na lahat. Akala mo ready ka na, tapos biglang, may magpipigil sa'yo. At syempre, out of your control, no? So, minsan tagapin mo na lang, iiyak ka, tapos, ayun.
Yung pa naman yung medyo ang hirap tanggapin kasi parang ginawa mo lahat, sir.
Oo,
Tapos parang, ay, kulang pa.
napaka-confident ka na, tapos dinefine mo na
Mm.
yung scope mo, na hanggang dito lang kaya kong gawin. Pero hindi, hahanapin nila yun. So, I
Yun.
think it's ugly for me, no? Kasi it's out of my control. Yung mga programming na nasira ko, I can fix that kasi ako yung nakasira, Pero when other people come into the picture, ang hirap mag-convince. Pero I think part din yun, no, yung skills building mo, no, na how to deal with outside factors.
Mm. Oo nga, sir. Yan yung mga kailangan din nating isang mahalagang factor actually for research is the input from outside of your circle. Kasi syempre perspective na yun outside of your field or related field na siya, kumbaga. And ayun, medyo mahirap nga siyang i-maneuver.
Kumbaga, all your years, ang kausap mo lang ay yung advisor mo, tsaka yung mga cohort mo, co-students mo. Tapos biglang an outside person, hala, oo nga, no, ba't di ko naisip yun? So, ang hirap.
Ayun. So, segue tayo, sir, ha? Since nabanggit mo naman na yung outside perspective, lagay na natin dun sa at what point did you realize na okay na to? Sige, try na natin i-publish, submit na natin tong paper natin.
Alam mo, hirap. Yan yung isa sa mga napakahirap gawin, Kasi every time that you produce something new, every time that you produce results, every time na nagpa-plot ka, parang gusto mong baguhin, gusto mong dagdagan, gusto mong ayusin, gusto mong linisin. So at a certain point, sabi rin ng mga advisors ko, supervisors ko, I'm very thankful for them. BA, sabi nga nila, done is better than perfect. And research never ends. You will always find new things to do, new things to edit, new things to write, new things to read. But at a certain point, ikaw ang magde-decide na okay, hanggang dito lang ngayon. Submit ko na and bahala na si reviewer 2. So, paano ba? Kumbaga, when you start research, di ba, magsusulat ka ng science questions. And if you think na kahit hindi pa kulang yung result, kahit hindi pa complete yung results mo, pero nasagot na nung results mo kahit pa paano, yung questions na ito, sapat na. So in my research, Nung nakita ko yung plot na nakalinya na parang, uy, may relationship. Okay na, i-frame ko na to. Publish na natin. So, you have to decide kailan yung done. Kasi it will never end.
Ang ganda nung sir, yung done is better than perfect. Parang
Meron pa sinasabi, parang parang perfection is the enemy of something. Of complete. Basta ganun. Maraming iterations yun. Pero for me, yun yung pinakamadali. Sabi mo nga, done is better than
better. Ang ganda nun, sir, kasi parang syempre, alam naman natin with our, sige, sabihin na natin our generation. Ewan ko ba, there's this hunger for something to be perfect. Kasi napapansin ko din yan with some of my colleagues before, my workmates currently, na parang, ay, bakit tayo nagsastrive sa perfect? Eh, hindi naman tayo perfect in the first place. So parang, ang ganda lang nun, sir, na parang, okay, tapos siya, kahit hindi siya perfect, it's better than perfect. Nag-resonate lang ako dun sa,
And
nakarelate.
sabi nga nila, di ba, science is a continuous process. Kumbaga, what we know right now, what we know today, baka tomorrow, iba na yon. So, kumbaga, i-report mo na kung ano meron ka ngayon, kung ano alam mo ngayon. At kung mali siya ng mga next generation of scientists, that's okay. Kasi nga, it's an iterative process na, di ba yung scientific method, observe, ask, gather data, report, observe, ask ulit. So, paikot-ikot siya. It will never be done.
Oo, sir. So, speaking of continuity, ayan. So, what are your plans moving forward with this research?
Sa ngayon kasi, bumalik ako magturo dito sa IESM. And hopefully, bilang mentor, ako na yung mag-uutos sa mga estudyante. Pero syempre, I have to keep asking questions. I have to keep running models. And ngayon, moving forward, tuloy-tuloy naman, kami ng supervisor ko, si Doc Jerry. Tuloy-tuloy kami nagpapatakbo ng iba't ibang models. Tuloy-tuloy kami nag-eksperimento sa iba't ibang mga bagyo. Ngayon, yung tinitingnan namin is yung rapid intensification. Ano yung factors, bakit siya nangyayari. At saka paano siya pwedeng maging rapid weakening. So ano rin yung effect ng lupa sa intensity ng bagyo. Pero moving forward, besides answering all of these new questions, hopefully, we get to mentor and teach the next generation. Para sila rin, they get to ask these questions, they get to attempt to answer these questions. So yun yung plan ko ngayon, maghanap ng mga estudyante.
Ayan, so sa mga
maturuan, oo.
sa mga naghahanap dyan ng research, apply na kayo kay Sir BA.
Magtatayo na ako ng lab, wala pang pera daw. So.
Well, ayun naman sir, parang at least meron kayong lab physical, di ba?
Yeah.
And with that, so any advice to your aspiring researchers out there na gustong mag jump in sa field ninyo?
Nabanggit ko kanina na a lot of these things I wouldn't have done without the help of other people, of my mentors, my friends. Kasi nga, di ba, science is, ano yung term? Collaborative. Na hindi ka dapat mag-isa. Siguro super talino mo at super dami mong pera. Pero yung advice ko is to make friends. To find your mentors. Kasi nakikita ko palagi, kapag estudyante tayo, tapos nagsusulat tayo ng thesis or research paper, uso yun yung magtatago tayo sa mga advisor natin.
Guilty.
So, yung advice ko is to talk to your mentors. Kasi sabi nga sa akin, na when you are stuck doing your research, that's the best time that you should approach or ask for help. Kasi kung hindi ka magtanong, may ipit ka lang. So, make friends. Gawin yung friends, yung mentors nyo. Huwag matakot. Huwag matakot magtanong. And paano ba? ano lang ako introvert ako presenting as an extrovert, ano. Pero very important skill yung nakikipag-usap ka talaga and to network. Kasi yung advisor ko ngayon si Doc Jerry, hindi ko siya makikilala kung hindi ko lang siya randomly minessage sa Facebook at saka inad. Ano. Tapos yung iba kong mga mentors and friends sa iba't ibang bansa, hindi ko rin naman sila magiging ka-close or makakausap unless I sent them that email. So, ang dami kong mga email to random people all over the world asking kung may opportunities ba kayo. If not, we can keep connected. No? So, keep your network strong, make friends, and lagi kang makipagtsikahan.
Ang ganda
Kasi
nun.
nga, di ba nga, you can't do it alone.
Oo. Grabe, sir. So, laging mag-ask ng questions at
Oo.
makipagtsikahan.
At huwag kayong magtago sa advisors nyo.
Very important. Very important. Ayun. So, with sir, with everything about your research, any final thoughts or words of wisdom?
Ang hirap naman ng final thoughts or words of wisdom. ah,
To summarize lang na pag-usapan natin for two meetups.
ala, na-pressure ako. Ang hirap mag-isip. Pang Miss Universe, ano.
Okay lang yan, sir.
Siguro yun nga. Paano ba? Science never ends. Lagi kang may maiisip na bagong tanong. Lagi kang may maiisip na bagong sagutin. And make friends. Kumbaga, wag matakot magtanong. and find your mentors na, para matulungan kayo masagot ang mga tanong na ito.
Ayun. So, thank you very much, Sir BA, for asking all our questions and pakikipagtsikahan sa akin. And ayun, before we let you go, parang kanta yun before we let you go, Sir BA, do you have anything to promote? SOCMED accounts and others?
Ayoko muna i-promote yung SOCMED account ko ngayon. Well, siguro if some of us are interested in the world, no, how the environment works, how the weather works, check out yung website namin sa Institute of Environmental Science and Meteorology. Every year, we take in new students, graduate students. Wala kaming BS program kasi it's a very multi, tsaka transdisciplinary thing. No? Na ang hirap siyang ipeg sa certain disciplines. Kaya wala kaming undergrad. So we get people from different degrees. So check out our website, iesm.science.upd.edu.ph. And marami kaming iba't ibang research labs, marami kaming iba't ibang programs. And ako ini-encourage ko personally kasi ang daming nahihirapan matapos yung masters nila dahil sa thesis. So ako personally in-encourage ko na if may option, try to take up yung diploma or yung MS na no thesis option. Especially if it's if nahihirapan magsulat. Ayun.
So again, thank you very much, Sir BA, for giving
Maraming
us time.
salamat din.